When it's busy, when you're overwhelmed, when you're dealing with clients and you can't even see straight, how do you organize your real estate lead generation so that it gets done even when you're going insane, when you're insanely busy? How do you keep that momentum going so that you don't suffer from or affected by the feast and famine mode, especially the famine mode? So last week, you guys asked me how I organize my content creation, my lead generation, so that I don't get overwhelmed or go insane. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. How to organize your lead generation, your real estate lead generation, especially the content pieces of it, so that it gets done no matter what is going on in your life. Hello, thank you for joining me. I am Christina Ethridge with Leads and Leverage, and I help real estate agents create more time, make more money, and enjoy the journey. Because guys, we should not be working 20 hours a day and only getting 4 hours of sleep. That should not be our lives. We should not be on 7 days a week. We need to have a break. But oftentimes what gets compromised when we take this break is our actual lead generation. So we're going to walk through today how I do it, how I stay organized to keep that content creation and going. I mean, you guys are seeing me do live every weekday in August, live every day in August, and you're seeing me live every day at 10 a.m. How am I doing it? How am I getting this done? How do I come up with the topics so I'm not overwhelmed? How am I enabling myself to actually get it done and not come up with excuses to not get it done? That makes sense? So today, as always, if you want the resources from today's show, just type "keep me sane" in the comments below. If you are watching this on Facebook, you can do that. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll give you the link to this Facebook video so that you can get these resources as well. If I could speak, that would be great. Hey, you guys, thank you for joining me. So let me tell you a little bit about today. Today, we're going to talk first strategy, tactics, and tools. So we have 3 pieces that we're going to talk about today. And this is all related to organizing your real estate lead generation, specifically the content, because for me, in my real estate business, in my leads and leverage business, it is all about all of my lead generation centers around my content. And what I mean by my content is the questions that I can answer. And that was the same thing when I was in real estate, the same thing as a team leader for my sales, the same thing for our brokerage, the same thing for leads and leverage. And it's going to be the same thing for our cork truck business, our wine business. It's all about helping people solve a problem. So that means that everything I'm doing is helping people see their next step. I'm helping them along their entire journey. And I've talked about that a lot. So strategy, tactics, tools, those are the 3 things. So first of all, when it comes to strategy, everything I do, all my lead generation, whether it is snail mail, email, Facebook posts, even open houses. I don't do open houses anymore, obviously, phone calls, etc. Those all revolve around content. I need to know what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to act, etc. And this does not involve memorizing scripts at all. This is not about script objections. This is about helping, giving, serving. When you help people, you become conjoined with them. You become, entwined with them when you're helping them, because you're helping them on a mutual journey, which is about them. And that's what this all is. So when it comes to content creation, the content that you're creating is the stuff that's going to go in your emails. It's going to go in your blog posts. It's going to go on your snail mail. It's going to go in your newsletters. If you do newsletters, it's going to be part of your phone calls. It's going to be part of your open houses. It's going to be part of your door knocking. It's going to be part of everything. Instead of going out and trying to pitch your services, and I do that with a punch, how about you go out and serve, like actually serve? So here's what you want to do. Strategy. Number 1, you need to know what's going on in the market. Like not the market. What do your prospects, your customers, your clients, what do they need? And here's what I mean by that. You need to always be on the watch. So this is what I would do. I would watch for questions that I got directly from people. So I'm talking face to face, or somebody's actually emailing me questions, especially in real estate, because they often email. And yeah, sometimes it's what's the price? What's this? What's that? Well, what's the underlying question in what's the price? They want to know if they can afford it. They want to know how they can afford it. They want to know, there's a whole bunch of other questions in there. So you have to look beyond the thing. But I look for questions that I get directly, whether it's via email, whether it's via text, whether it's in person. I look for questions that I overhear. I don't know about you, but whenever I work in a coffee shop or I'm in line at a grocery store, I swear when I hear the words selling a house, buying a house, real estate, I'm like, it's like radar. Where is that? And then I'm like listening in, like, so I don't look like I'm listening in, but I'm listening in. And I'm going, oh, no, not that, this, that. And I kind of listen to see, and you don't always want to interrupt those conversations, but what I want you to do with this, when you overhear that, start taking notes. Like, use your phone. I'm going to tell you the tools to use. One of them is going to be your phone. Use your phone and record the questions. Not like write them down. Record the triggers that you get. You get it. What's the thing like? Oh yeah, why are they listening to their neighbor when they should be listening to a realtor? Why are they Zillow? Why are they using all this other stuff? So I'm looking for questions that I get directly. I'm looking for questions that I overhear. I am looking for questions that I see in Facebook groups, local groups, different groups, etc. What can you, when you see a question, how can you answer it and solve it? So see, hear, whatever a question, get. You need to figure out how you can solve it. And sometimes solving it directly is not what the consumer actually wants. They want you to solve it indirectly as well. So what I mean by that is you need to solve it so that, for example, you guys wanted to know how to, what are things I can do to get more leads? Then I moved into, well, how do I organize myself? How do I do this? So I've got like a whole bunch of videos that I'm going to be doing for you guys from that one question. Like, I don't even know what to do during my lead generation time. Lots of questions. So when somebody says, I don't even know how I'm going to be able to afford XYZ. Well, what are some things you can do? Could you actually introduce them to Dave Ramsey? Or whatever budgeting person you like to follow? Could you introduce them to that? Could you give them a free pass to Financial Peace University? Could you teach them how to budget? Could you give them resources if they have to repair their credit? Can you give them resources for that? Can you help them with that? All this stuff, okay? I have trained my brain to always be searching out questions, thoughts, statements, ideas that I can use for content, to things that trigger responses from me, things that drive a passion in me. I want to be able to help in areas that I feel are important, that you guys need help with. That's the same way it was in real estate. Things that were important. I didn't want to give the same answer in the same way that everybody else was giving, or especially that the Associated Press was giving and that they'd find on Zillow or Forbes or whatever else, the boring crap that nobody actually ever listens to. They just repeat verbatim and like, hello, have you actually listened to that advice? So you need to actually give them something real. Give them something real and help them. But you need to train your brain to see the content everywhere, what's going on, etc. Here's a simple thing in your own home. It's coming upon fall. Ooh, I can't say that. It's like the middle of August, but fall is coming. Fall is coming. And there's a lot of stuff that people need to do or should do for their home to prep it for the upcoming winter. And they should start thinking about that now. And so that's a journey piece that you can help them with. Is it about the trees? Do they know who to even call about their trees? Do they have an arborist? Do they have somebody to help them with their stuff? Do they know what to do? Do they know, if you know that they have to fertilize their lawns, can you find YouTube videos to show them how to do it? Like, literally take them to the point where you think they know nothing and give them the resources. This is huge. Bring in people, go talk to your local nursery and do a video interview of, what can they do right now? What are the top 3 things people should do to prep their yards and homes for winter, blah, blah, blah. You need to train your brain to always be searching for things that people can use and content that you can use. Okay. So let's get into the strategies. You have to train your brain to always see all of this content and stuff everywhere. You guys are awesome. I see a lot of you on here. Hi, you guys. Okay, so the next thing we need to talk about, and I was going to talk about tactics, then tools, but I realized that in the tactics, I actually talk about the tools. So we're going to do tactics and tools all together. So I just told you about strategy, but now we're going to do tactics and tools. And again, if you want these resources and you're watching this on Facebook, type "Keep Me Sane" in the comments below. If you are watching this on YouTube, in the description box, there will be a link to this original video so that you can get the resources as well. All right. So the very first thing that I use, I think it is the absolute best software app, whatever you want to call it. However, there's a piece to this you need to know. I think it's the best one on the planet for this kind of thing. It is called Evernote. And I know some of y'all are like, oh, I can just use Google Docs, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing with Evernote. Evernote, I can use it on my desktop, which is you guys are on my desktop right now. I can use the same exact app on my laptop. I can use the same exact app on my iPhone. I can use the same exact app on my iPad. So all the contacts everywhere. And I realize so far it's like Google Docs do the same thing. I can use the same exact app on my Apple Watch. Now, let me tell you something about this. With Evernote, every piece of it is searchable. Yes, I know Google Docs is too. However, when you are out on the web or you're watching something or you're reading something, you can get plugins for Evernote to save that entire thing to your Evernote. You can do all kinds of things that you cannot do in Google Docs for this piece. If you can it's great for gathering research, and it's much easier than Google Docs. And there's a million and one different little ways to use Evernote. You can grab entire web pages. You can grab snippets really easily. And you can do, like I said, a million and one other ways to leverage it. There's a lot of ways to leverage Evernote. I use the snipping tool on Chrome. I have it on my desktop, laptop, iPhone, iPad, and my watch. Here's where I find it very, 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 very handy. And as a real estate agent, I'm betting you will too. Before, I would use my phone and I'd make sure that the Evernote app was on there. And I just say, hey, Siri, open Evernote. I hope it doesn't respond. Shoot, it is. It's responding. Open Evernote. And then I would use the record button. Like I would, let's say, take a note and it would record it for me. I didn't have to touch anything. Okay. I can now do that on my watch. Love that. Boom, boom, and I'm done. So as I'm driving along and I see something or I see a sign or something triggers a thought or a content piece, I can record it right into my Evernote. I love that. So when I'm driving, I think of something, I'm out somewhere or see something, I just use Evernote on my watch or on my phone to record that and talk to it. I'm constantly throwing ideas into notebooks in Evernote. So I'll grab entire articles I read or I see a headline of, and then I put my own notes as to why or how it inspired me. So because that's the piece that I want to write about is what it did to me or whether I agree or I disagree. So if I feel that there is much more to it than the article writer shared, or they didn't go enough in this, or are you serious? It's another one that just says use a realtor. How lame and stupid is that? I would actually talk about that stuff. I would tell it. I'm like, yeah, everyone else is telling you if you're a FSBO, you're just not going to do as well if you don't use a realtor. Well, that's flat not true for some FSBOs. You need to share that. You need to be real. You need to be authentic, and you need to basically tell them the truth instead of trying to just get the sale. Okay. When I watch videos, especially on YouTube, I'm always throwing notes and links in about the video, link to the video into Evernote. That is like my gathering place for everything. Then what I do is once a week or once a month, I go through it once a week. I do this piece once a month. Once a month, I go through my Evernote, my big compilation of stuff, and I pull exact thoughts like, ooh, this will be a great video, article, email, snail mail, whatever. I will pull that and I will put it into Google Drive. I will use a spreadsheet, okay? And I will use a spreadsheet and I will put that sentence that I'm going to do. And then I put 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 bullet points about that. So that's my content. I'm like, okay, what about this do I agree with or not agree with? What about this do I think they need more of? Okay, so once a week, I go through and refine my thoughts and research. I actually do this piece once a month. I pull questions and put them into a spreadsheet, and I add 3 to 4 bullet points that I want to touch on that specific topic. All right, when I do this once a month, I make sure that I have at least 20 or 30 different things in there each time I do it. Because let me go into that in just a minute. What I find is that when I pull a topic, often the topic is bigger than a 15 to 20 minute training or video or an email or a post or anything. I often find that it's bigger than that, and I end up splitting it up. This video is an example. Okay. The other day, I walked you guys through the key to keeping your Facebook page happy and active and run your real estate business at the same time. And you asked me more questions about that topic. And one of those questions was, how do I organize it all and make it happen? And thus today's video. So I'm talking about organizing. Another question you guys asked me about was batching. We're going to be doing a video on that. Another question you guys asked me about was time blocking. We're going to be doing a video on that. So I'm going to be walking you through every single one of these. So that's the same thing that's going to happen to you guys. You're going to see a topic and realize, I actually need to go deeper on this piece. And so I can do an overview and then go deeper on this piece. So that's what's going to happen with questions. Because guys, if you're just trying to people are like, I don't know, how do I know if I can qualify? And your answer is go talk to a lender, or you need to go talk to a lender, or this is the kind of, that doesn't help anybody. They already know that that's an option, but they haven't done it. For whatever reason, they haven't done it. Why? They don't want to waste a lender's time. They don't think they're going to qualify. They don't want to be embarrassed if they don't qualify, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you give them key things that would help them? One thing I noticed, it was really interesting. I was watching a video on YouTube last night. I am fascinated with people who sell everything and buy a boat and then live on the boat and travel the world. We're not going to do that. Not interested in doing it, but I'm very fascinated. We already did our RV travel time, so we're good with that. But I'm fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by why they choose to do that, the work involved, etc. So I was watching a channel last night. I was watching one person's video, and it was what you should know about boat loans, or what, blah, blah, blah. And I watched the video. I'm like, I'm never going to get a boat loan. But I watched the video. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really great. He's giving insider stuff and explaining the differences and why that makes a difference, etc. Not the verbatim crap that everybody gives about loans. So when you do, it was really interesting. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Never would have thought about that. And I was relating it to, it was triggering my inner real estate. And I was like, oh, if people talked about the little nuances and actually taught them why, if you're going to go apply for a mortgage, why you should not apply for whatever credit or this, whatever things, not just tell them to show them, say, drop this, did that. It was really great the way he did that. And I thought, this is really great. This is a good video. So when I'm organizing myself and my questions and my bullet points in the spreadsheet, those help me see at a glance how much content I have, and they give me options each day that I create content. So just in case I'm not feeling a particular topic that day, I've got 20 to choose from. Exactly. And you know me and my soapboxes, when I'm really passionate about something or something's got me, that's the topic I want to talk about that day. And it's usually because one of you guys have either said something or come to me and asked a question, or I see you struggling with it in other groups. So that is why I love to have those options. And not only that, it's just I know you've probably heard the phrase that if you really want to exercise in the morning, you need to make sure you set yourself up for success. You prime yourself, you create your environment, right? So when you create that environment, your gym shoes are there, your gym clothes are there, your water's there. Basically, you don't give yourself an excuse to go back to sleep. It's all there. It's easy. You don't have to go gather anything. It's all ready to go for you. That's the same thing I'm talking about here. And we're going to go into detail on this on the batching video that I'm going to teach you guys either this week or early next week on batching. We're going to talk about that in more detail. But here's the thing. You need to set yourself up for success, and you need to have a variety of options to answer and do. The next piece. So we've talked about Evernote. Google Docs or Google Spreadsheets specifically, and I like Google Spreadsheets. It's free. Well, I pay for Google Apps for business, but still, Google Spreadsheets is free. It's right there. You can plug and play stuff in there. You can always use IFTTT and connect your Evernote to your Google Spreadsheets. Kind of cool. All right, the third one, Google Calendar. I use Google Calendar, and dreaded phrase here, time block. I time block. Once a week, I have 1 hour scheduled for my content batching. What do I mean by that? I schedule every single Friday, right after my live stream that I do with you guys, I schedule 1 hour to plan out the next week's live stream. So I know exactly what I'm going to say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I plan it out. I pick my topics from that spreadsheet. So the work's already done. I just pick that out. Now, when I talk to you about the process that I go through to create my content, organizing and batching and the checklist, and the process that I go through to repurpose content, I'm going to actually walk you through some of the checklists that I have created for myself that help me know the pieces. Like I have this one. It's my live streaming checklist, which is kind of washed out right now. I have that one that I go through and so that I know that all the pieces are getting done. All the pieces that I need to do. And so that it's all there so that when I sit down to actually batch at the end of the week and I'm batching next week's stuff, my content's already done. I'm just picking the 5 things I'm going to talk about the next week. That's it. So that's what makes it so easy. When you have your Evernote going and you've been gathering your content and you have your spreadsheet going and you've been putting bullet points down. So you already kind of know what you want to say, right? And then you have your calendar and you time block. So I outline my topics for the following week and I do live streams every weekday. That's right now in August. I may keep going because this is really kind of fun. And if I have more time in that hour, I keep moving ahead and at least laying out the topics that I'll use for the next week. I will go ahead and do that. Awesome. I time block my content creation. This means that my 10 a.m. live with you guys is on my calendar. I even have the pre-live stuff so that I know I need 30 minutes to put together just to make sure my outline's correct, to make sure all the pieces are in place, everything's ready to go. And I just need 30 minutes to get my head in the space with you guys. I time block my content repurposing. In other words, I time block and I stick to it. I know without a doubt that the one thing that I need to do every single day, if all else fails, I need to be on here with you at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. That's what I know, because that is my domino for all the rest of my business, everything else, the courses that I create inside of Leads and Leverage, all the stuff, it is my domino. So I know that, and I've turned it into that. And I will do a video on repurposing, how to repurpose the content that you do, because when you create a piece of content, if it's a video for Facebook, you should be able to use that on YouTube. You should be able to use it in your email. You should be able to use it in a blog post. You should be able to use it in a snail mail newsletter. So in other words, you're creating something once and reusing it multiple places. And I will walk you through that in the next few videos. Okay, so I want to make sure I have everything. So if you want the resources that I talk about, and I actually give you a little bonus. I give you my notes from today. Keep me sane. Type keep me sane in the comments below. If you're on Facebook, again, if you're on YouTube or IGTV, I will put the link inside the description for you so that you can come over to the original video and get these resources. All right, you guys, please make sure you ask me your questions and let me know. This is totally, I need this feedback from you guys. I need to know what was most useful for you. What was most useful for you today? This is really helping me know what to go deeper on for you, know what to do next for you. These videos, you guys are driving them. What do you need? What do you need from me? But I don't know unless you tell me. So make sure you comment below what was most useful for you. And if you want me to go deeper on how to do some of this stuff, Tell me that too. Say, hey, I'd really like you to go deeper on managing your calendar. How are you setting up your calendar, or time blocking or whatever? Or I would like you to go deeper on, I don't know, whatever else, how to put things in Google Calendar, or whatever it is that you would like me to go deeper on for you. Please put it in the comments wherever you're watching this. If you're watching it on Facebook, IGTV, YouTube, put it in the comments. Let me know, because it's the only way I can help you. All right, you guys. Again, super awesome day today. And the next couple days, we're going to be talking about how do you create content once and repurpose it, and what's the process that I go through to create my content. So how do I organize it? I already talked about organizing, but how do I batch it, and what checklist do I use? So we're going to walk through those the next couple days and early next week. And I love that you guys are coming. Thank you so much. And if you want me to keep doing this every single day at 10 a.m., you got to comment and let me know every single time. So every single one of these you come to, if you're in replay, if you're in live, it doesn't matter. Comment and let me know, hey, yep, I want you to keep going. Click like, share this. It really helps. I'll know which ones you guys like the best, which content you like the best, and which days you prefer me to be on here with you. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Have a fabulous afternoon. I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Bye for now.